So you've taken very strong pro-life positions. It's been
This
one
makes people the craziest. Of all the issues, this and guns are the ones that make people, that's where the most hate comes from.
Perfect. So you just set the agenda for the next 20 minutes. So let's talk about the pro-life position.
Sure.
So were you always this pro-life?
I was. The media just never paid as much attention. It's so funny. It's like a chicken or the egg concept. And actually on my first date with my husband, it was one of the questions he asked me. He was very surprised that I was pro-life. And I was like a few drinks in and I was like, I think abortion is abhorrent and I could never do it. And, I don't understand, the conversations that are being had right now. And he was very surprised. And then when I got on The View, I think it was just that, and this is no shade to anyone who's sat in my chair before me because it's a very hard job. But I think a lot of women that sat in that chair before me were like, well, I think that you should make your own choice, but the government shouldn't regulate it. And I was like, I think abortion is murder. I'm pro-life. I'm not going to get on board with any of this. And I think people were like, whoa, holy shit. Okay, that's a different perspective. And it's very, very important to me. And I think I don't fit the narrative of a pro-life woman in media. Like, I think, I live in Manhattan. I don't have children yet myself. I work on network television. Like, I don't know, for whatever reason.
You're not super overtly religious.
No,
You're pro same-sex marriage. So you don't fit the sort of stereotype of your religious soccer mom from Kansas who's pro-life. You're an urban woman who grew up in media who's pro-life. I mean, that is a unique background for sure.
People get very, I'll go sometimes to restaurants or whatever, and pro-life women will tell me in secret. Like, they'll come up to me and be like, I thank you for standing up for the right to life. But it makes me sad that so many people feel like they have to censor themselves so severely in this city. And I love New York. I'm not going to shit all over it. But it makes me sad that there are people that don't feel comfortable even talking about it. And there's a lot of people in my life that just don't want to hear it from the other side. They just don't want to be abused because they have a different opinion. And by the way, I'm like a total, heretic to my gender because of the way I feel.
How does that feel? I mean,
I don't give a shit what anybody thinks of me anymore. I've been through so much last year and in my life, and I've seen so much and felt so much. There is something liberating about being almost 35 and going through so many things. And let me put a little context. Last year, between August of 2018 and August of 2019, my father passed away from terminal brain cancer. A employee of my husband's who was a friend of both of ours and an incredible up-and-coming talent, Bree Payton, who I'm sure you know, passed away in a freak virus. A few months later, our family dog, died in a pipe accident. And then I got pregnant, not surprisingly, we were not planning, and then found out I was having a miscarriage soon after, all the while being trashed in the media. I was pregnant when I went on Seth Meyers. And so the experience of last year, I was like, what else can happen to me? What else? So I don't care anymore what people think about me, because some of the worst things that I could have ever thought happened. And I don't want sympathy, and I don't want anyone to cry me a river, and I don't need a tiny violin, but I experienced a lot of tragedy last year. And so coming out the other side of it, nothing really impacts me anymore. So if you're mad that I'm pro-life and you're mad that I don't feel the same way you feel about socialism, I don't care. Bring it. I mean, it's so small on the scale of life events for me.
Facts don't care about your feelings, and it's a fact that The Ben Shapiro Show is the largest conservative podcast in the nation. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and stay up to date on all of our content.